Hi, my name is LaQuanda Jefferson. Thank you so much for tuning in. This is Doc LQJ Speaks. I want to be really brief today. I'm trying to keep it under 10 minutes, of course, for this video, because I like to kind of do that. I like to stay under 10 minutes so that I don't become long-winded, which I can often do. I have made myself some notes so that I can stay on topic today. The topic for this particular video is um, tips for maintaining the co-parenting relationship. Okay. So how do people become co-parents? Let's explore that one first. I do have a very detailed seminar excerpt that's split up into different sections already listed on my YouTube channel, and if you guys have time, check that out. That can help you guys get to um, a very stable place in your relationship where you can start building that foundation for co-parenting if you are amidst um, the aura of divorce or separation from the other parent of your children or your child. So um, the first one that I selected is that you should revisit the arrangements when a significant change is foreseeable. So the arrangements would be your original co-parenting plan or your original access and visitation schedule if you've gone through the courts and pursued legitimation of the child if you've not been married. So basically what that means is that if you have a situation that's foreseeable, for example, if you intend to transition and you have a job offer and you're going to move outside of the radius of about 15 to 25 miles of your child. So that means access is going to be limited or restricted in some type of way. And your work schedule is also going to change drastically. Let's just say when you move outside of this radius, life changes that are projected by yourself and or your ex spouse or partner take you outside of an hour drive away from that child. So if you have a visitation schedule that says that you have um, joint physical custody of the child and the child is equally sharing time with each parent, but the child is in school, it makes sense for your parenting plan to be adjusted accordingly. One parent has to be the main parent for the child's educational rearing purposes to have custody of that child so that you're not necessarily inconvenienced and you're not traveling an hour just to take them to school in the mornings and then an hour to pick them up, and then also away from work. So, those are some of the things that you can think about that may be these foreseeable changes. There are also some changes that happen and we're not necessarily prepared for, or we didn't see that coming or couldn't possibly see it coming or what have you, and we have to kind of like adjust abruptly to that. But you should not have to be in court every single time something in your life changes, because that's saying that you guys don't have the skills to adequately communicate necessary change to one another. And a successful co-parenting requires you have that basic um, arrangement with one another. The next tip is to keep your commitments, but also remain flexible. So, keeping your commitments is a really big one. Oftentimes, parents argue over who has visitation and when, because we as human beings struggle with keeping our commitments. Think about your commitments to your children as the most vital commitment that you can make in life, especially children that are under 11 when the separation occurs, or under 11 as the transition continues. So, children between age 4 and 11 tend to internalize the separation of their parents or the element of their parents not being together, even to start with. and they tend to self-blame. Regardless of what you may tell them, they will continue to internalize. It's what you show them that helps to, you know, redirect some of that energy. So if you show them that they have two parents that are committed to what is best for them, and that the two parents have an amazing communication regimen between them and are committed to this newfound relationship as co-parents, children tend to grow up and have healthier lives and to be more productive citizens. So that's that piece. Remaining flexible means that if the other parent has something to come up, you are a positive source of support for that parent. So let's just say, one parent is meant to pick up the child at 6 o'clock on this particular Thursday, and they run into a situation where they have a car accident, and the car accident leaves them without a vehicle until maybe 2 days later when they're able to pick up one or afford one. And during this time, that other parent reaches out to you and say, hey, could you drop off such and such? Even though you were due to meet halfway, or the other parent was due to come pick up the child from your place, or from school, it's important that you, as an adult who is responsible, do the best thing and reacted in a flexible way. Think about the way you would have reacted had you and that other parent still been in a relationship together. We tend to support one another when we are courting or with that person, but for whatever reason, when the relationship transitions, even though you still have children, you forgot to do that basic thing and support the other parent. The next tip is never discuss co-parenting conflicts with the children or with the children as a background audience. If you're having problems with the other parent, don't have that discussion with your children. Children are not your source of venting. They're not. They're not your psychotherapist. They're not your life coach. They're not your counselor. They're not your pastor. They're not. No, it's not meant for children to process adult issues. It's inappropriate, and it's immature. So protect your children's psychosocial development and don't involve them in adult issues. Furthermore, make sure that when you are having an issue with the other parent, whatever that issue is, you have that discussion in a place away from the child completely, and that you learn to put your emotions in the right place or in check and recognize what kind of emotions and address those in conversation and fluid communication with the other parent, so that they're not projected onto the child. My next tip is remember to focus on you. Remember to focus on you and keep your emotions at bay. The emotion mind can prevent wise mind decisions that are in the best interest of the child and that may be the most conducive for both parties involved, um, from the co-parenting lens. Sometimes your emotions are just so high that they get in the way of your being able to make decisions that you otherwise would have made if the emotions weren't a part of the process. Okay. So do the best thing for your children and make the best decisions based off of what's in their best interest. So, to make this very clear, it is very important that children have ready access to both parents and their grandparents and other family members on both sides of their family, for support, encouragement, growth, and development. It's important that they have access to everybody. So, children are not a piece of property, they are human beings. They expect for you, as their parents, to do the mature thing and to grow up. If you are not there and you are one of the willful parents, you need to get there. Not just for you, not just for me, because of course you can't do anything for me, but for the sake of the psychosocial development of your child, of your children, for their mental and emotional welfare as growing people who will one day become adults. And your behaviors will determine whether or not they're productive in their adult life. So that's pretty much all that I have. Thank you so much for tuning in. Please like and share this video. Subscribe to my YouTube channel. You never know who needs this.